So if you're in college right now, or you're going into college next semester, or really anybody over the age of 18, and you haven't started establishing your credit history yet, or better yet, you don't even know what credit is, I strongly recommend that you stay tuned for this video because this shit is important. I didn't know about credit till I was like 21. This lady came into my summer job and started telling us about credit. And I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me this shit earlier? Like, this is important stuff. I should know this. Everybody should know this. It could be the difference between you getting a house loan, a mortgage, and you not getting a mortgage. It could be the difference between you paying $30,000 for a new car as opposed to $22,000 because of the interest. The banks want to loan you money. The banks are trying to get that interest, or they want to get those interest payments from you, so they want to loan you money, but they have to know that you're a reliable borrower. And the way that they know that you're a reliable borrower is by looking at your credit score. Like, has this person paid back all of his debts before? How many debts has he had before? This is what all the things that the banks are taking into account whenever they're looking at your credit score. And it's not just credit card purchases. Like I said, it's mortgages, it's car loans, it's personal loans. Like, I took out a $10,000 loan in my undergrad because I had good credit. I had built my credit up, and the banks knew that I was a reliable borrower, so they threw me $10,000, and I could have spent it. I could have been a little smarter the way I spent it. Like, I fucking went out and got a apartment, which is fucking stupid. But I got the trade in my trading account with it, which was a good experience. I got to see those big numbers and make a lot in a day, lose a lot in a day, and just get used to that. So that helped with my trading. But having access to that capital was very important. And whenever you decide to buy a house or buy a car, you want to have that credit score built up. So in this video, we're going to go over what makes up a credit score, how do you get a good, excellent credit score, and how to get started. So there are 5 main categories that make up your credit score. The biggest of the categories is going to be your credit payment history. So, is Jim paying off his credit card on time every month? Pretty simple. If you miss a payment, that mark's gonna stay on your credit score for 7 years. So don't miss a payment. It won't be the end of the world if you do, but you want to avoid that if possible. You can just pay your shit off on time. The second biggest category that there is going to be your utilization. So your utilization is how much of my total credit limit am I using on a monthly basis. So say I have a $1,000 credit limit. You want to use about 10% of that $1,000 credit limit on a monthly basis to get that excellent utilization rate. So you want to, if you have a $1,000 credit limit, you want to spend about $100 per month to get the excellent utilization rate. The next category is going to be your number of accounts. So it is exactly what it sounds like, your number of accounts. Credit Karma says that you should optimally have about 20 accounts. Not necessary to have a great score, but really the more the better is what they say. And it's pretty much to show that you're responsible with multiple credit accounts. They see like, all right, he has a bunch of shit going on, but he's also making all the payments on time, so he could be a reliable borrower, and we'll give him money because he's probably going to give us our interest back. The next thing is going to be your age of accounts. So how long have you had these credit accounts for? So if you're young, you definitely want to get these credit accounts open as soon as you can. So in 5-10 years, you can have that perfect credit score, that 850 credit score. And credit scores go from like the low 400s. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it is, but 850 is a perfect credit score. Excellent. So you want to strive for 850. Anything over like 700 into the 750s is really good. You'll be able to get some good cards with that. You'll be able to get accepted for your mortgages and all that good stuff. That's really where you want to be, is like 750s and up. And like your income also has a lot to do with will banks loan to you. Like if you have a 500, 400 credit score and like a shit credit score, but you make $13 million a year, they'll probably loan to you anyway because you're making a shitload of money. But back to the categories. The last of the categories is going to be your credit card inquiries. And an inquiry is when you inquire to a bank that you want to open up a credit line. So anytime you put in a new application for a new credit card or a personal loan or a car loan or mortgage, those all count as credit accounts. But anytime you put in a new application, it counts as an inquiry, and it won't heavily affect your credit score. So take a couple points off every time you do an application. So you want to be aware of how many inquiries you're doing in a short period of time, because if you do 10 inquiries in a day, the credit card companies are going to look at you and be sketched out because you're applying for all these different credit lines at once, and that's going to make them wary of giving you a credit line. So those are the main five, well, the only five things that they take into account whenever they're looking at your credit score. So how do you get started? I would recommend, if you haven't started if you don't have any past history with credit accounts, I would recommend, and you're a student, I would recommend the Discover It student card. It gives like 5% cash back on rotating categories. So every 3 months it'll be like Amazon, Walmart, 5% cash back, and then the next 3 months it'll be like Home Depot and movie theaters, 5% cash back. And the first year they take that 5% cash back, or however much cash back that you've accumulated in that first year, and they'll double it. The cash back match is what they call it. So effectively, you're earning 10% back on a lot of your purchases with the Discover It student card. So I would recommend that if you're a student. And I had a friend who had very little credit history who got accepted for that card. So I would attempt to do that. If by some chance you get denied the Discover It student card, I would apply for the Capital One Platinum card. That's the card that I started out with. No credit history. They accepted me. They accept pretty much anyone, even if you have adverse credit history. They say, fuck it, like, we'll give them a chance. They'll probably start you out with a $500 credit limit, and after like 6 months of payments, they'll raise it up to $750. So you want to have that $500 credit limit, do your 10% utilization, so like what, $50 a month. I just fill my tank up once or twice, pay it off, make sure it's paid off by the end of the month. I did that for 6 months, and then I up my credit limit. So after you have the Capital One Platinum, and if you get denied for the Capital One Platinum, most banks have secured credit cards, which you put a down payment on, and they'll give you that amount, the amount of your down payment as a credit limit. So if you give them $200 for the secured card, they'll give you a $200 limit to spend with, and when you're done with the card, you'll get your $200 back. And I know that doesn't sound super attractive, but it's fucking necessary. Like if you messed your score up before and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to have to give them $200 for a secured card, like it really is worth it, because this can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars on your mortgages long term when you're taking out these loans. Because if you have a good credit score, the banks are going to give you the prime interest rates. They're going to give you the low interest because you're a low risk to them. They're thinking, all right, we don't have to pump this interest up because it's not as risky, so we can give him the low interest because we're gonna get our money, and he's gonna be able to get his house or whatever, and everybody wins. So secured card, most banks have them. I'm not sure what other companies have them, but it's easy to get a secured card. So after you get that Discover It or the Capital One Platinum, you might want to look into, or have those for 6 to 8 months, maybe 10 months. Now you're looking into the mid-level cards. So we're talking Capital One, or not Capital One, Chase Freedom Unlimited, the Amex cards. These cards we're getting into some perks now, get some cash back. We're getting some sign-up bonuses. $150 sign-up bonuses are usually in this level, this tier of cards you're getting. So you spend like $400 in the first 3 months, and they give you a free $150. And just from the Freedom and the Freedom Unlimited, and referring people. So if you refer people to get a credit card, they'll give you like $100 bonus. But just in these last 2 years that I've had credit, I've accumulated like $750 in cash back just from doing the sign up bonuses and referrals. So it's just free money. So like, why not take it? If they're gonna give it to you, just take the free money. But yeah, so you're looking into those lower tier cards or mid tier cards after you get the Capital One Platinum or the Discover It Student. And after that, now we're looking into these annual fee cards. So after you have the Chase Freedom or the Freedom Unlimited for around a year, 6 months to a year, it depends really. But now you're looking into these annual fee cards, or they're charging you per year to hold the card. So we're talking the MX Gold, the MX Platinum, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and Chase Sapphire Reserved. These cards have annual fees, but the perks, they got some fucking baller perks. Like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is the one I want to get. I don't have it yet, but it gives you priority pass lounge access. So every time you go to an airport that has a priority pass lounge, you can eat for free, you can drink for free, and I'm pretty sure you can bring a guest. It might be multiple guests. I know it was multiple guests at one point, but they were probably losing money on that, so I'd be surprised if it was still multiple guests. But you have perks like this, and they're giving 5% cash back on restaurants and just like big sign-up bonuses. I think it's like a $500 sign-up bonus once you hit the minimum spend, which is probably like $3,000 or $4,000 in the first 3 months. And I'm not spending that much money yet. Like, I'm not spending that much money right now in 3 months. I'd have to force that. So I want to be at a point where I'm going to be spending that money anyways before I go to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the MX Platinum and get those sign-up bonuses. Because like, whenever you say you're going to get the Chase Freedom Unlimited, they want you to spend $500 in the first 3 months to get that $150 sign-up bonus. But you don't want to go out of your way to spend that $500. You want to be already spending the $500. I spent the $500. Now they're giving me a $350 sign-up bonus. You don't want to press that shit. But the end game, you want to get those baller cards. If you're a traveler, there's a lot of good travel perks. So like, and they're nice cards too. They're the nice little flex cards too. Like the MX Platinum is like made out of medium. So is the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but the MX Platinum I think looks a lot better. But that's not super important. The important thing is get your credit established as soon as possible. Like right after this video, click some of the links, do some more research, because this shit is very important. If you want to get a personal loan for anything, if an emergency comes up, you want to be able to get that personal loan. Or if you want to go out and get a good interest rate on a car, if you want to buy a car, or if you want to get a good interest rate on a mortgage, if you want to buy a mortgage, then fucking get your credit score up right now and like get this thing rolling, because the earlier you start, the better. Like there's no negative to having a good credit score. Like it's not necessary. If you want to go through life without taking out loans and without being on credit, that's perfectly fine. But if you do plan on taking out mortgages and borrowing money from banks, then you should absolutely focus on building your credit. And it's really just a matter of going out there and doing it. It's not a hard thing to do. Just go out there and do it. So yeah, that's the credit rundown. If I missed anything, or if there's anything you guys want to see in any future videos, let me know in the comments below. Hit me up on the socials, and catch you next time.